Welcome to the 24th meeting. That's 2 years of StackRox open source community meetings. I'm Michael, and that's Matthias. We're both co-chairs of the StackRox open source project. We have a quick meeting today. We just wanted to go over 4.4, a couple of last minute changes, not really in relation to the open source StackRox, but the Scanner v4 did launch in tech preview. So as you're aware, if you've deployed 4.4, there's 2 scanners that go out when you deploy it. That is just so that once we reach feature parity with Scanner v4, there will only be one moving forward. That is the plan, but there's a few small changes that need to be updated to get it there. I think, Matthias, do you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Maybe the interesting thing is we are currently working on getting feature parity between the new scanner and the old scanner. And as long as we have not achieved that, there will be the deployment of both of them. But the goal is definitely to move to scanner v4 once we're in parity. So we're working on that. I'm actually currently working on porting part of the functionality over. So there is active work on that. Stay tuned. Hopefully we can do that in a very short time frame. But as usual, I'm not promising anything because as we all know, software development might sometimes be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, Dane, you asked, does the Scanner v4 add supplemental information to StackRox? My understanding is like Golang packages are now scanned. I believe there's a couple other updates that I can't remember off the top of my head. Matthias, do you know?
So in general, the core engine that powers both the old scanner and the new scanner is the same, which is Claire Core, which also powers Quay, coincidentally. So there will be some slight changes, but we also support more ecosystems. So Python, I think, please don't nail me on that, but I think it's at least Python, Go, Java. So we're basically expanding the ecosystems that we can scan with the scanner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a couple other Linux distributions too, right? Like Photon Linux,
Correct.
I think, is now, and SUSE as well.
Oh, I don't know about SUSE, but we definitely so the problem is I've been working on Claire Core, which has a separate configuration to the way we use Scanner v4 or Claire Core in Scanner v4. So there might be changes, there might be differences between the two. So I don't know actually for sure, but I can check. maybe
Yeah. Yeah, SUSE is, if you can hear me, testing 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Yep, that is going to be part of the new scanner v4 as well.
Yeah, I think I saw Oracle, SUSE, Photon, because they were somewhat supported in Claire, right? And so after the merge, now
exactly.
Scanner v4 has all of it.
So I'm looking at the list right now: Ubuntu, SUSE, RHEL, Photon, Oracle, Debian, the newer distros. Looks like 10, 11, 12.
It's a lot. A lot of distros.
Amazon Linux, Alpine, etc.
Yeah, very cool. That answer your question, Dane? Nothing in the UI, I believe. It's just updated information, updated packages, updated support. But nothing in the UI has changed because of the scanner.
Also, I guess the biggest plus or the biggest improvement is also as we're now trying to align, as we're now using Claire Core v4 for our scanner, that also means you will get the same results that you get from Quay scans. So no more differences between these two, ideally.
Yeah, there is an extent there, still working on little nuances with things like unfixed vulnerabilities in one versus the other and so on. But for the most part, the intent is, yes, for them to be in sync.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I believe I can get out ahead of my skis here and say ACS 4.5, so StackRox 4.5 is somewhat planned for July, rough roadmap for July for the next release. And the engineers and PMs have put together a very, let's say, loose roadmap for what's planned for the next year. So we'll be coming out with a video and announcement on some of the main priorities that we'll be working on for the next year. So if there are any open source issues or support that the community would like, get them in ASAP. You can just drop a Slack channel if there's something specific that you're looking for. Other than that, it's gonna be a pretty quick meeting, unless anybody else has any chat questions. Dane, is there anything you wanted to ask about the new release that we haven't covered? No, I saw a couple certificate issues and API questions in the chat. The API questions, I know we're doing a bit of a policy overhaul, I believe, for the next release for 4.5, some policy changes. So, like batch exporting policies as like a CV or JSON, I think is one of the features we're looking at, because there was a question about getting exclusions from policies via the API and what the most efficient way to do that was. Basically, you need the policy ID and then you have to do a loop to pull all that information. And Rahul wanted a faster way. So I forwarded it to the PMs. It is a request that we've gotten a couple times, and I know people don't like to muck around the API necessarily and make all those calls. So hopefully we have some good news for you in the upcoming release. Anything else I missed?
In general, we are aiming to polish the API a little bit more. That might be an interesting tidbit to know. So we had some problems in the past where new features or change features weren't directly available in the API, and we're aiming to actually work better towards supporting new features and existing ones in the API. So we're polishing, we're constantly modernizing there. So expect some improvements in that area.
Cool. Unless anybody has anything else. Brad, David, Dan, you want to do any demos? Anything you're working on? Maybe next month I'll ping you for something short if you would like some feedback. But yeah, thanks for joining. It's been 2 years. Excited too with the scanning consolidation now. Hopefully we can get Claire and Claire Core into some more developer workflows. Possible donations, maybe. We'll see. Until next month, yeah, we'll see you. Have a good rest of your month. And thanks for 2 years of open source StackRox.
Thanks.